So let's start by sitting upright. That is suspended from above. The body is relaxed, at ease. Think of your skeleton as being pulled up through your crown, and the flesh melting, following the pull of gravity. Let's take a few deep, long, comfortable breaths. Let your breath gradually sink down into the belly. Maintaining the quality of stillness in your body. The two qualities of relaxing, releasing, as well as being upright. Softening your eyes. Receiving yourself with kindness, with compassion. Breathing in, filling the entire body, saturating every cell with consciousness, feeling the body. As you breathe out, softening, releasing the tension in your body. Let the whole body become more and more spacious, soft, released. Gradually allowing everything to settle, slow down, to calm down. Just keeping it really simple, breathing in, feeling the body, connecting to the body, and breathing out, softening. And all that matters is just this one breath. The breath before that doesn't matter, and the breath after that doesn't matter too. You also don't need to be doing this perfectly, whatever that means. Instead, just leaning towards a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more soft, a little bit more aware. And just only this one breath, breathing in, feeling, breathing out, releasing. Breathing in a way that feels nice, comfortable. So once everything has settled down, the body and the mind are more calm, we're bringing our awareness to the soundscape, just simply listening. Notice how your attention moves from sound to sound. Without any effort on your behalf, it just does that naturally. The silent question to ask yourself would be, what am I hearing right now? Or what kind of sound is in the foreground of my attention? And whenever you notice that you forget listening, then gently return to whatever sound you're hearing right now. Let that be your entry gate into presence again. I'd like you to really notice how the attention moves very fast from different sounds to different sounds. How the sounds themselves are changing second by second. How the entire soundscape is very much alive, buzzing, vibrating. Letting go of any kind of thoughts about the past or the future. Just being with this experience right here, right now. Connecting with life directly, not conceptually. Now let's add another layer of experience, layer of feelings, sensations in the body. There's another form of aliveness. Notice how just like sounds, your feelings are moving, changing, and how your attention also jumps from feeling to feeling effortlessly. And at first we just stay in the realm of feeling. What sensation am I aware of right now, right this second? It may be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And how does it behave? Is it rising or falling? Expanding or contracting? Is it hot or cold? Fast or slow? Heavy or light? And then of course you will notice that the attention doesn't just stay with the feelings, it also jumps to the sounds, then back to the feeling. And we simply train ourselves to know where the attention is right now. Is it within the realm of feelings or within the realm of sound? What am I aware of right now? Now, it's not only feelings or sounds that we're aware of, but very often also the realm of thinking, various different ideas and thoughts, images, concepts that arise and pass. So let's notice what kind of thoughts are coming up. Notice how they arise and how they pass naturally. Again, there's really nothing that you need to do to your thoughts. They come by themselves and they go by themselves. Word after word, image after image, idea after idea. You don't have to believe in this or have faith in this. There's something you can directly prove to yourself. See if there is even a single word or image that comes to stay. Look right into it. Look right at it. And you will see nothing comes to stay. Everything comes to go. So let your mind think freely. Liberate your mind from any form of oppression. Just let it express itself as it pleases. Just watching it. See what it does. Just already knowing that thoughts come and go is very valuable. Because every single moment, when you become awake to the thought process in your head, is already very powerful, very wholesome. It's like dreaming while at the same time knowing that it's just a dream. So you're not really falling for it. It loses its grip on you. So you can be more at ease. So now let's be aware of all three: sounds, feelings, and thoughts. Simply knowing what is it that I experience right now. Where is my attention? Is it in the realm of hearing,
feeling or thinking. Knowing what is happening while it is happening. And in your own time, if you like, you can slowly come back. Open your eyes, gently stretch yourself a little bit if you like. See if you can maintain a little bit of the awareness that you just cultivated. Remain open to yourself and your own experience. Staying anchored in your body. Keeping it relaxed and open. Keeping your eyes soft. Your heart soft. So, all right. Nice to see all of you. Welcome. If you found this relaxing and easeful just now, that's very good. You can just continue doing stuff like that. If that is nice for you, you just keep doing it. Whenever you like, you don't have to cross your legs and sit down somewhere to do that. You can do this anytime, anywhere. Just connecting with your body, connecting with what is true, what is real right now. The actual experience that you're having, becoming aware of it, knowing it, and releasing through it, giving it some space, rather than fighting it, resisting it, trying to own it, control it, pursue it, chase after it, or something like that. Simply connect to what is true. And that's a very direct way to end suffering, right here, right now. If you connect to what is not true, on the other hand, it's a very easy way to get yourself lost in all kinds of drama, all kinds of thinking, all kinds of self-conceptualization. The way you think of yourself and your life and your problems and all these kind of things are not based on what is true. They're based on what you think. That's a difference. knowing your thoughts as thoughts, that means seeing the truth. Ah, well, that's thinking. And thinking is like this. If you really look into thinking, if you really observe your thought stream, they'll gradually understand that it is not made by you. There's nobody there that sustains it, produces it, creates it, and makes it go away. Instead, the very nature of a thought is to arise and pass. And it does that by itself. And it does that because it follows a certain chain of causality. What gives rise to thought is desire, and what gives rise to desire is very often a type of delusion that we have, a blindness. And so we're searching outside of ourselves. We're searching outside of what is true, what is real, for a kind of end of suffering, for an end of stress, a short respite, rest, peace. But guess what? You cannot find it because it is not in what is true. What is true is where you find peace. You can't find peace outside of what is true. Impossible. So as a meditator is somebody that pursues a spiritual path, if you will. And even as somebody that is simply interested in character cultivation, which is at the basis of all spiritual practice. You want to pursue what is true, what is actually real. The more you connect with what is false, the more suffering arises, the more stress arises. Like if you conceptualize yourself in a certain way that is not in alignment with what is true, you'll start to suffer that conception. You'll start to suffer your own production, your own creation. The own way that you conceptualize yourself becomes your burden because you're holding it. And it's quite heavy. Some concepts are less heavy than others. I think you all can think of a concept that is very heavy, and you all can think of a concept that is lighter in comparison. You can think of concepts that you could hold in your mind and in your being that are useful and helpful to yourself and others. And you could think of concepts to hold in your mind and your being that are destructive, divisive, painful. Right? You can all think of stuff. How you think of yourself is at the beginning of a creative process. If you believe in those thoughts, if you're invested in those thoughts, you're giving those thoughts, those ideas, those concepts a certain power. You're paying it attention. So the more attention you are paying to a certain concept, say the concept of I'm unworthy of love, I don't deserve love, I'm not good enough. That's a popular one. A lot of people have that. Or say you are buying into such a concept, you're paying attention to it, you're investing in it, then it will have a certain power over who you become. That should be fairly obvious. Now you could say, well, I am the way I am because of my past. And to a certain degree, that is correct. You're right. You are who you are right now in this moment because of your past conditioning. But it would be quite fatal to say that because of your past conditioning being like this, there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And so you are simply a victim of your past. Well, why then make any effort whatsoever at all? Because it looks like you cannot decide who you want to become. That power isn't yours. So whose power is it then? Who decides who you become? Is it large corporations? Is it your Twitter feed? Is it your Instagram feed? What is feeding you? And what are you feeding? That's where your power is. You can decide what to feed yourself. You can also decide what you are feeding, what you are paying attention to. What is it that you give power? If you blame someone for your own misery, or if you blame something for your own misery, like hitting your feet on a staircase, then blaming the stairs for being in your way, is that very skillful? Is that in accordance with truth even? Are the stairs worthy of being blamed because you bumped your foot into them? That's exactly how we deal with life most of the time. We blame our past. Our past is just like a staircase. Why do you keep bumping your feet into it? And then you complain that it hurts. Why do you keep paying that particular type of attention to your past? You could pay different attention to it, if at all. But I can tell you, your past is not where your power is. This is not where you can find liberation from suffering. You can't find it in your past. It would be horrific if liberation from suffering is in the past. If the end of all stress and misery and if true happiness would be in your past, why then do anything? You've missed your opportunity already. You're done. So quite obviously, your past is not where your power is. What about your future? Is that where your power is? Is your power in 10 minutes? What would be the consequence of such a belief? My power is yet to come. My power is in 10 minutes. My power is in an hour. My power is tomorrow. My power is when I finished my work task. Once I'm successful, once I've got 1 million followers on Instagram, then I'm powerful. Is that the truth? Again, quite obviously to most of you, I think that you wouldn't accept that as a truth. To put your power into your own future. If you did accept that as a truth, then what would be the outcome of your faith? Who would you become if you were to believe that your happiness is in your future? How about when you're 80 years old and you're really invested in the belief that your happiness is in your future? How about 90 years? Ooh, bummer. Your happiness is still in the future. How about on your deathbed? Well, guess what? Next life, yeah, you get another chance. Yeah, good things are to come. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Once you are not yourself anymore, then you can relax. You just need to get rid of those pesky habits of yours, and you just need to get rid of those thoughts of yours, and you just need to get rid of those emotions of yours, and then you can be happy. Promise. You just need to kind of get rid of all those things, and then. Is that the truth? Well, to a certain extent, yes. There are things within you right now that are unskillful. Abandoning them will lead to more happiness. That is true on a conventional level. And within you right now, there are certain things that are good, that are worthy of cultivating. If you cultivate them, your life will become better, happier. You get better connections, everything will improve. So yes, you do have some light within you. Pursue that and life will get better. You have some darkness within you. Illuminate it and life will get better. Again, what I said in the beginning, it's all about being truthful. You need to be truthful as to your own light, your positive potentials, and your negative potentials. then you begin by abandoning those negative potentials and cultivate the positive ones. And as a result, life will get better. Illness, disease, problems, division, hatred, and the like will decrease if you change your behavior now. If you change the way you think, if you change the way you talk to yourself and to others, if you change your way of action, what you do day in and day out determines who you become. Does that make sense? Your actions are one of your greatest powers. And taking that power is called responsibility. Taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for yourself. It's a really simple, old-fashioned concept, but super powerful. Very liberating too. This is what is freeing you. If you don't want to take responsibility, well, you need to blame a lot. You need to give away your power. You need to say, I'm feeling miserably because of my past. I'm feeling miserably because of others. Feeling miserably because of my hormones. I'm feeling miserable because of my wife. I'm feeling miserably because of... You fill in your particular blank. I'm sure you all have some blanks that you want to be filling in that explain why you're suffering right now, why your life is not the way it should be, right? As long as you're just sitting there and going like, oh yeah, things are bad because of them, what could you then do? You want to burn them? Bomb them? Shoot them? Get rid of them? Because after all, they seem to be the cause of your misery. So the logical conclusion is, well, just drop a couple of bombs on them and problem solved. Seems really stupid, right? But we do it. It's not other people doing it, it's human beings doing it. Are you a human being? Right. So you're not different from those who are doing this. This is called shadow. This is something that is within ourselves that makes us do these things. Some of the worst people in this world are those people that say, I could never do bad things. I do this for the good of all. I do this to save you. I do this for the sake of God. In Jesus' name. I just want the best for you. Right? So again, if you're not honest with yourself, you'll miss that. And you start doing a lot of good in the name of bad. You start doing a lot of bad in the name of good. Confusion. Reversion. Because we don't follow what is true. We ignore what is true because very often what is true is what? Super uncomfortable. The truth hurts. You hear the truth and it's outrageous. How dare you? How dare you say it's not my hormones? How dare you say it's not my genetics? How dare you say it's not the manager? How dare you say it's not my past? Are you shaming me? Are you blaming me? Me, the perfect, radiant, grand queen, king of the world, of the universe, the center of everything, the one that never could ever be wrong or mistaken about anything. Are you saying it could be my fault that the world is the way it is? Are you kidding me? Can I talk to the manager, please? How dare you? Very common these days, that attitude. Everything I do is correct. Everything I think is correct. It's right. And you know why? Because I have so many friends that agree with me. Look, let me show you my bubble, okay? And in my bubble there is science, and there is friends, and there is anecdotes, and there is philosophy, and there is religion, and it all agrees with me. Isn't that awesome? So the more I have that, the more outraged I can be at somebody that doesn't agree with me. The more I'm outraged, the less willing I am to look at my actual truth of what I'm doing right now within myself. And looking at that and taking responsibility for my own outrage and my pain and my misery and my efforts of denying and avoiding the truth hurts too much to look at it. So I do anything I can to avoid looking at it. And you know, it eats away on my soul. Denying, avoiding what is true makes me secretly more and more miserable, more and more depressed, more and more down. It weighs on me heavily. And so in order to keep not addressing it, I distract myself endlessly. And I celebrate endlessly those things that are not true. I just do what everyone else does. This is how the world pulls you down. The Buddha himself said it very, very clearly, and it was an actual fact, like way back in the days, 2,500 years ago, that the whole world moves left, and the Buddha is the only guy that moves right. Imagine that. You're moving against the stream of what is commonly accepted as true, valid, and good. What is commonly accepted as true, valued, and good in this world is the principle that the route to happiness is consumption, production, and dependency. That's the world. If you don't want to accept that, if there's something inside of you that calls out and says, no, I don't want to submit to the idea that consumption, production, and dependency are the route to happiness, then you have something that I would call a calling of the heart, or a spiritual calling, or a calling of God. Something is calling you that is higher than the laws of this world, that is above those laws. And it is good following this call. Asking yourselves deep questions about what's the point, the meaning of my existence. How am I acting? And how does that serve me in the long run? How does it serve others in the long run? What do I actually know to be true? Those are good questions to ask. So yeah, spiritual practice is mostly about that. So you start with the basic stuff, you train and refine your character, then you go deeper into meditative training, you still the mind, you still the heart. And you'll discover that with each progression, there's more happiness, more lightness, more ease, more freedom, less dependency, less confusion, more clarity. And, that will empower you to keep going all the way to the highest. So that's all that comes to mind for this morning. Do you have any questions?